I kept going to Diddy's parties, and what happened to me? There is not something I can even talk about. Diddy presented me in front of everyone. He said that if I told anyone to anything...
Happy birthday, Cosmo. Happy birthday.
Yo, Sal, what's up?
Yeah, y'all already know we
Yo,
playing
Sal.
out this
Let's
real
go.
life.
Real life.
Nigga, no Diddy gang, Meek Mill in real life. Don't ever disrespect me, you
Talk
heard?
that shit, Meek. Yeah, Meek.
What? Yo, wait a minute. Wait.
I'm at a point in my life like we all grew up in the streets and we try to be better, but they labeled us fellas, sent us back to jail. I had to fight against that the whole time.
Video footage from a birthday bash Sean Diddy Combs threw for his friend Meek Mill in April of 2014 has surfaced in the midst of the disgraced rapper's trafficking arrest. According to Daily Mail, the party was held at a Parisian palace in Las Vegas that Diddy rented for a whopping $25,000 for 24 hours.
We just got new footage of Diddy's party that he threw for Meek Mill's birthday, and Meek Mill saw this and blew up on Twitter.
Yo, Sal, what's up?
Yeah, y'all already know we playing out this real life.
Real life.
Diddy gang, Meek Mill in real life. Don't ever disrespect me, you
Talk
heard?
that shit, Meek. Yeah, Meek.
The walls are closing in on Diddy Combs, and Meek Mill has set the fire to a bomb that could smash everything Diddy has been desperately hiding. In an astounding twist, Meek has finally decided to break his silence, and the discoveries are shaking the entertainment world to its core. It all began when the Daily Mail published an unedited exposé on a 2014 party organized by Diddy for Meek Mill. Damn, Diddy hosted a party for Meek Mill.
Video footage from a birthday bash Sean Diddy Combs threw for his friend Meek Mill in April of 2014 has surfaced in the midst of the disgraced rapper's trafficking arrest. According to Daily Mail, the party was held at a Parisian palace in Las Vegas that Diddy rented for a whopping $25,000 for 24 hours, which according to the property manager Jason Haidt was left in a disgusting mess after the wild get-together. He told the publication, quote, "There were broken bottles of alcohol, used condoms, blood on the beddings, powder, razor blades by the hundreds, lubricant on the dressers, and marble floors." Jason claims he also, quote, "found panties, bras, and even 2 iPhones in the bushes behind the bowling alley." Diddy's personal assistant relayed specific requests for the party, including bringing their own smoke detectors and that all interior bedroom door locks were to be ordered new and left unopened for their arrival. The property manager was given a rough estimate of 850 guests for the mansion party. However, 900 guests showed up. Jason claimed most of the guests participated in, quote, drug-fueled festivities and described Diddy as being wasted. He said the party ended around 3 a.m. and claimed there was rampant cocaine use all over the $7.5 million property.
I'm on the mic trying to rap to my thing. What's the move? What's the move? It's your birthday. Yeah, I'm in the with Diddy. He must have moves. Yeah. I'm in the passport on the woo. I'm in the dish.
Joining me now is broadcaster and journalist Diddy Dunleavy. Diddy, let's start with video footage of the birthday party of Sean Diddy Combs, one that he organised for Meek Mill back in 2014. This video has resurfaced with the property manager of the location, the Parisian Palace in Las Vegas, claiming that there were broken bottles of alcohol, used condoms, blood on the bedding, powder, razor blades by the hundreds, lubricant on the dressers and marble floors, panties, bras, and even 2 iPhones in the bushes behind the bowling alley. Goodness me, sounds like quite the party. Do you think we're going to see footage of these parties, particularly the freak-out parties where all the grotesque goings-on were happening? And given the fact that we are hearing he taped everything. He had video cameras with him at all times.
Well, that's where I've got a question mark as to whether he filmed this or whether the property manager has bobbed up after. This is 10 years ago, this party. There's something concerning me a bit about this, and we get it by now. We've heard that Diddy has wild parties, but he's in jail. He's awaiting trial in May next year on some pretty serious charges, sex trafficking, etc.
Could be in jail for the rest of his life if convicted.
Exactly. So while this is a salacious story, I'm concerned that the more of this sort of story that bobs up, it's playing into the hands of the defence. They're going to, at some point, be able to argue that he's not going to get a fair trial. But where will they get a jury of people who haven't heard all of these claims? And I'm also just vaguely sceptical about this property manager who says that he found cocaine all over the house, but he thought it was icing sugar.
Well, of course, when you see a wild party attended by rock stars, you assume icing sugar.
Of course. And then he went around and collected it all and said he got about half a gram altogether. So his credibility's not high.
Well, how do you feel about your name being besmirched? Because now we say Diddy,
I know.
It's like my son and Hunter. When Hunter Biden's antics became world famous, Hunter Panahi had a moment to deal with that because it was the coolest name for many years, and now it's associated with Hunter Biden.
Yep, I'll go DEE instead of he is Diddy, yep.
Now, there's a lot of celebrities who are nervous, not just about Sean Diddy Combs's parties and lists being released, but also the high-profile individuals, including a few billionaires who are on the Jeffrey Epstein list.
Well, it seems like yesterday they were out poolside with a video. It was Diddy and Meek Mill, and people were laughing and saying, "Hey, yo, pause," because he called Meek Mill daddy.
You deserve it, daddy.
I didn't see nothing wrong with that.
So Puff Daddy calling somebody daddy is surprising to people?
It's if that was my significant other and another man calling him daddy, I'm gonna be like, why?
Well, Diddy said way more plausible stuff than that. I guess because he's Diddy.
Plausible, yeah.
I've heard that on a scale of 1 to, do you like to party? That's about a 2. on the Diddy scale, that's about a 2.
But this just sent straight from Philly. Philly MC said they want that smoke, so we're gonna see what y'all got. Meek Mill, you ain't got nothing but air and opportunity to show them how it's done. But Cosmic Kev, he hit me up and told me that Philly on the job. Let's go, Philly. I'm at a point in my life like we all grew up in the streets, and we try to be better, but they labeled us felons, sent us back to jail. I had to fight against that the whole time.
Where would you be right now if you were just Meek Mill, who nobody knew, if you didn't have all these powerful people who raised your case up and made people pay attention?
I would be in prison. Hey, what's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you.
Meek Mill's got to deal with what he got to deal with based on the relationship him and Puff had.
The piece also discloses some jaw-dropping details. According to the story, the party wasn't just wild. It was downright weird and unnerving, featuring A-list attendees, alleged coercive behavior, and acts that many are now calling outright criminal. But why did it take 10 years for this to surface? That's the question everyone's asking. How did an event so shocking stay concealed for a whole decade? Who in Hollywood has the ability to silence the truth?
Meek Mill's got to deal with what he got to deal with based on the relationship him and Puff had. Dressing alike, being cozy, Puff calling him daddy, saying little innuendos to him. People are looking at that and saying Meek Mill is wrong for saying no Diddy. But you can't tell a man how to spend his money and how to make love to his wife or his Diddy.
This is footage of the Diddy party, and I believe this is the trailer, so there's not going to be anything weird. But I think the article we're going to read after is going to explain all the weird stuff that they saw and what went down. So let's watch the video and then we'll get into the article that explains all the details of it. As expected, didn't really see much, but let's read the article. I think it explains what happens when the cameras go away. So, Daily Mail titled this article, "New Diddy Party Footage Shows Debauchery at a Birthday Bash He Threw for Meek Mill at $7.5 million Las Vegas Mansion." So, Sean Diddy Combs spared no expense to throw his friend rapper Meek Mill a blowout 27th birthday party. Daily Mail has the exclusive video of the celebration and what was left behind: white powder, half-empty bottle of liquor, used condoms, blood-stained bedding. And that was just evidence of how debauched the event was. The bedrooms the following day were disgusting. Property manager Jason Haidt told the Daily Mail there were broken bottles of alcohol, used condoms, blood on the beddings, powder, razor blades by the hundreds, lubricant on the dressers and marble floors. I found panties, bras, and even 2 iPhones in the bushes behind the bowling alley. Exotic dancers in masks, women in tiny bras, and the main event, a woman served up as a sushi platter. The day-long party held on May in 2014 cost Diddy, who is now 55, a whopping $25,000 in rent alone.
We also have an image of where the party was held. Check this out. Hate54 shared video footage of the party with dailymail.com. It shows partygoers arriving in droves. Notable faces include Vine sensation turned comedian King Bach, 36, French Montana, 40, and Lil Durk, 32, along with other musicians claiming to be part of Meek Mill's record label, Dream Chasers Records. The estate was full with celebrities walking through the crowd, escorted by their entourages of bodyguards and trophy ladies. Lingerie-clad dancers danced provocatively on set-up stages, while other curvy, scantily dressed women posed around various rappers for shots. In one scene, a female was laid out on a table with only a tiny piece of translucent vinyl covering the front of her body for sanitary considerations, as rows of sushi were set on and around her, while workers provided bottles of sauce. The partygoers smiled into the camera, posing with their mates. At one point, Meek Mill, French Montana, and Diddy stood on an elevated platform to give a speech, laughing with each other as one partygoer shouted to ask if there was liquor up there. Monster headphones were also on exhibit, showcasing rows of the Mill-inspired 24-karat, over-the-ear DJ headphones, which presently cost $199.99. Well, at least Meek Mill can't dispute that he was there. The owner of the residence also revealed in detail the incidents of Diddy buying the house from him. The article continues. In April 2014, Haidt, the mansion's longtime caretaker, says he was approached by Diddy's personal assistant who stated Diddy wanted to hire the site for a party for Mill. It was staged 3 days after Mill's birthday, but Diddy expressly wanted it to occur on the night of the first fight between Floyd Mayweather and Marcos Maidana. The disgraced rap mogul transmitted, through his assistant, further specific needs for the property management. They requested that all inside bedroom door locks be ordered new and left unopened for their arrival, for security grounds, as they would need to supervise the installation. Both sets of keys were to be provided immediately to Mr. Combs, and nobody else. Haidt alleged Diddy's team also requested double-sided locks on the bedroom doors, which were to be left open for visitors' arrival, with 2 sets of keys to be delivered to Diddy. He claimed, "I was given a rough estimate of 850 guests for the mansion party, and we agreed on a fee of $25,000 for 24 hours. Some 900 visitors showed up, and most partook in the evening's drug-fueled festivities, including Diddy, whom Haidt characterized as being wasted." For years, Meek and Diddy were sighted together at various events, from parties to public outings, often wearing suspiciously matching clothing, stoking allegations of a deeper connection. Meek even publicly praised Diddy at one time.
We do this for our family, our sons, whatever they taught us in the streets. We grew up looking up to I looked up to like, but y'all was on TV, I was so far gone. We grew up looking up to niggas on the corner that was on a corner for 25 years, and then I got in the game, and I got a chance to brush shoulders with that's setting family legacies. You ready?
I'm ready. You ready?
Next up, for real. I see you with your pop. A nigga rich getting money, appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? I got a son now. I ain't had no pop. I got a son now, so I'm trying to do it like that. Where I'm in somewhere in the middle of California. I got a house. My son got a house. My son getting money. I'm getting money. That's what we doing it for. Me and our whole family. Shout out to the Combs family for real. This real. Yeah, no, hell yeah. Puff took the sacrifice. Now it's on. Now it's y'all turn.
Buy they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mill.
Everybody kind of knew back in the day that Meek Mills and Puff was a little too friendly. Anytime two rappers or two people in the industry come dressed up alike on more than one occasion, listen here, man. My dudes in Philly, I got some real strong dudes in Philly. They don't play that. To see that Meek Mills, one of the street guys that came out of there, got caught up in this Hollywood, whereas that he's dressing the same. He dressing like Diddy, hugged up with Diddy. Two men dressing like. It's just like two men laying down. When they both get up.
Whenever history's being made, you guys know I like to talk about it. And these two made history by being the first two males in the hip-hop industry to openly have each other. You know, some court docs leaked. Mr. Combs informed Mr. Jones that he engaged in of course, with rapper 5 redacted. 5 being he is a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. Well, that's too narrow. You know, this is one of the biggest moments in hip-hop history that we gotta celebrate because it's 2024. And it explains these videos very well because the voice you hear is Sean Diddy Combs himself.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, daddy. Because P. Diddy be wanting the body, and you gotta tell him no.
I mean, just look at how he looks at this man when he performs. This is some true love I didn't know about.
My man, you go to a party, dog, and the same shirt you got on, I'm taking my shirt off. I'm walking around in a t-shirt. And then, not to blow Meek Mills up out the water or anything like that, it was said that they checked his Google search and all the other and he was searching for some online gay and all that other like that.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy, bro. But listen, those are what, you know, it's crazy that money, that lifestyle, and you trying to fit into something, get you. These guys never set out to do all this. Meek Mills, when he got into the game, he didn't set out to be questioning about his manhood with Diddy. But he put himself in that position.
Meek Mill says he will pay $100,000 to an investigator to find out why his name is being tied in with the Diddy allegations. Back in February, Diddy was sued by a former employee for assault. The lawsuit included redacted names, and fans believe that Meek Mill was one of those names. The lawsuit was filed by Rodney Jones, and he alleges that Diddy told him he had relations with an unnamed rapper. The footnote of the lawsuit claims that that rapper is from Philadelphia and dated Nicki Minaj. At the time, Meek Mill tweeted denying the allegations that they were talking about him. He denied being gay or doing any drugs, and he made multiple tweets about this, completely denying that he had any sort of personal relations with Diddy in that way. Now, many months later, as Diddy is still being investigated, Meek put out another tweet. He says, "I want to hire an investigative team $100,000 cash to find out every specific detail involving Meek Mill's name to Diddy's case. I also want them to look at who is powering the media involving Meek, anything to do with Buddy, something not right."
But now, Meek insists he has no ties with the struggling music tycoon. Social media exploded as fans began collecting receipts, calling out Meek for what they considered to be an obvious falsehood. Photos, videos, and archived interviews proved their association was far deeper than Meek wishes to accept.
Yeah, y'all already know how we playing out this motherfucker real life.
Real life.
Nigga, Diddy gang, Meek Mill in real life. Don't ever disrespect me, you
Talk
heard?
that Meek. Yeah, Meek.
Meek Mills denies Diddy threw him a birthday party. Denies it. He said always somebody that's not black coming through and trying to tear down the black man. It's all lies. All these Diddy allegations are lies. He's never seen a freak off. Never. When the property manager came back, he responded. He said, Diddy specifically ordered him to change the locks to the interior bedrooms. It was 2 of those. The keys were specifically given to Diddy by request. You know what I mean? It was a $25,000 rental by request. He had to change them locks and give them to Diddy. So he say Diddy didn't throw him a party. That's another lie. Yeah, Meek, bro, it's gonna be hard to wiggle out of this one. You know what I mean? Very hard to wiggle out. He trying to do the Ray J. That's what we gonna call it now. Meek Squilly trying to do the Ray J. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. It's not believable. Or tell him Meek, no Diddy gang. Tell him Meek, tell him Meek.
Thing is, Meek Mill always has made it a point to respond to people that are calling him out for this type of activity. It clearly gets under his skin because he's also sent out tweets like this one where he said, I want to hire an investigative team and pay him $100,000 cash to find out every specific detail involving Meek Mill name and how it's tied to the Diddy case, right? Even though there's been hundreds, if not thousands of videos made about all of the different things going on with Meek Mill and the Diddy situation. But Meek Mill can't seem to stay quiet about it. It's clearly been on his mind. And I think the best advice that Meek Mill has been given throughout this entire thing actually came from 50 Cent. 50 Cent had did an interview on Billboard.com and they asked him about the Drake and Kendrick beef and what they thought about Drake losing his footing a little bit. And he said, when you say something that isn't true and the person wants to defend themselves, they encourage the activity. The public likes that you're vulnerable because it matters to you that it wasn't true. They're gonna jump on you for being defensive. That's like Meek Mill. When they say Meek is fruity or gay with Puff in the situation, it's how he responds to it that makes people talk about it more. It gets bigger and bigger and it turns into this thing that's going on out there. You don't hear one thing about French Montana, and French was in that circle and around that a lot, but you don't hear not one thing. And Meek is all over the place, right? 50 makes a good point. If Meek would just shut up about it, people would probably stop talking about it, but Meek won't shut up about it. In fact, he's found himself defending Diddy numerous times since all of the allegations came out. But about a week or 2 ago, we started to see a shift in Meek Mill's public perception of everything, right? Where he had been defending Diddy before, all of a sudden we seen him in this video talking about no Diddy gang.
Yeah, y'all already know how we playing out this real life.
Real life.
Yeah. Gang, Meek Mill in real life. Don't ever disrespect me, you heard?
So he clearly was trying to disassociate himself with anything that's got to do with Diddy, right? He wants to clear up his name a little bit.
So Meek Mill is denying that he is the rapper that is included in P. Diddy's newest lawsuit right now, all right? So if you guys can see at the very top, Meek Mill went on to X and he had a lot to say about the situation, and he was super mad at academics for actually getting online and reading the court paperwork, all right? But this court paperwork is super duper juicy, all right? We got people in it that I ain't even like, yeah. So look, let's jump straight into this paperwork and see what Meek talking about. I want to start at line 71, me personally, because this is where I feel like it's juicy. So at line 71, it does say, Mr. Combs informed Mr. Jones that he had engaged in with rapper Redacted, R&B singer Redacted, and Stevie J. All right, so you see at the very end where it says rapper and it has 5 at the top. You go down to the bottom, you can see at the bottom it has 5 and it keeps going forward to explain. So it says on 5, he is a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj.
Guys, it's funny how Meek Mill done popped his head out and said he's putting forth all this money to see how his name got involved in all this stuff. Freak Mill, you know how your name got involved in this. The security made the tape of the morning when you and Diddy was going at it in the bedroom and he put the phone to the door. See that heavy Philly accent, that ooh daddy, ooh that's what got you caught, bro. And then, man, we don't dress like other men. If a grown man, if I go to a party and it's a grown man just like me, man, I'm leaving or changing my clothes. But hey, Freak Mill, you know, you could put all the money out there in the world, but you not only was getting used at Diddy parties, but you was getting used at the Dwayne residence by Robert Kraft and all them, the owner of the Patriots. That's why they gave you a Super Bowl ring, Brody, and released you. So, man, you be getting passed around like a from day one, but you say that you street.
Think Meek Mill now is out looking for help. Okay? Meek Mill seemingly asked for help, okay, from PR people amid being attached to Diddy news despite previously bragging about not hiring PR. Meek Mill says, just to think about it, you are waking up to a bunch of non-black owned publications posting major lies about me. Where are all the PR people go that was around me? Everybody see what's going on. I'm not going to be quiet. It's war on the black men. I think this is why I never hired a personal PR person. The times of the manipulators coming to an end in 2024, from computers to the Great Awakening. Okay, because Elon Musk was saying, he made a tweet about public relations is propaganda, is a propaganda word for I can't read the full.
I'm at a point in my life like we all grew up in the streets, and we try to be better, but they labeled us felons, sent us back to jail. I had to fight against that the whole time to gain my respect and be who I am today.
Diddy had that man in the room. Look, yes, I put my ear to the door and I brought the phone because Diddy started going in overdrive. I ain't know what the was going on, but I just heard balls slapping against cheeks. I heard struggling to take. I heard being like, yeah, daddy. Like when he started all that daddy this and daddy that, and then I heard some hollering and struggling. Like, yeah, I kept the phone there and I recorded all this because I was like.
Adding to the turmoil, Meek has stated his desire to employ a private investigator to determine the cause of the reaction against him. But supporters aren't buying it. Now others are doubting Meek's motives. If he's so innocent, why does his tale keep changing? And why did he remain silent for nearly a decade?
Well, you know, Meek Mill is also someone who has been tied into this whole Diddy situation, you know, mainly because of the Little Rob lawsuit where, you know, Little Rob claims that Diddy told him that they hooked up. You know, so Meek Mill tweets recently that he wants to hire an investigation team and pay him $100K to find out every specific detail involving him and the Diddy case.
That sounds strange. That sounds strange. Because you as a man, if you know you ain't do nothing and you ain't got no problem with nothing and you sure with yourself, you don't give a nobody else say. Why you gotta hire somebody that you wanna make sure or prove to somebody else that you and Diddy didn't have a relationship when you know within yourself you didn't have a relationship with him? Tell him, give me that 100,000. I'll tell everybody, Meek Mills ain't do with Diddy. And make sure everybody know that. Don't make no sense as a man. They talked about Jesus Christ. What are you worrying about what they say about him?
Do you think maybe he just wants to know what the feds know about him?
The feds gonna let them know anyway. When Diddy gets discovery, if he lets this go to the point whereas that whatever the feds is charging him with, they have to give discovery. Now, they don't have to give and show everybody what's on those tapes. You understand what I'm saying? And those tapes could be locked up and sealed away for a very long time. But whatever they charge with, they're gonna give the defense team the discovery. And if it's seen that somebody is there doing something that appears to be illegal, and he's a part of that, it'll be in the discovery.
From what I understand, the feds are real tricky. It's not like the state where they let you know everything ahead of time. Like, a lot of this stuff you might not even know up until right before the trial starts.
They can't produce it still, bro. If in fact he's being charged with something, that's where you have your good lawyers tell the judge, nah, Your Honor, we didn't get that. You can't bring that in court like that. That's what you have good lawyers for.
One of the things that I think was, you know, I kind of just didn't understand it, but they're saying that Diddy is facing asset forfeiture. The government wants to seize the properties tied to racketeering, trafficking, and charges.
That's a good way of saying that what a black man has earned all these years for doing music, we want to take it away because he didn't get this from doing music, which is a lie. He got those things for doing music, selling alcohol, doing whatever he was doing. So now they want to put a crime on it and try to seize his property and seize his things that he has earned, which has nothing to do with what they're trying to charge him with.
Yeah, it's literally nothing to do with what he's being charged with, which is what I thought was kind of crazy. But I mean, I guess because it's a RICO situation that, you know, they can try to work something out, but I don't know, it's probably gonna be difficult.
Yeah, because his money was, you know, loaned, whereas the point that anything he had, he could either put mortgages and all these other things on it. So the Fed is out of their mind with that one.
Hey Diddy, thanks for agreeing to do this interview. I know it's a really tough time for you right now, but we really appreciate your time.
Let's do it.
Now, Puff, P. Diddy, how do you want me to refer to you?
You can call me Love.
Okay, let's address the elephant in the room, all the allegations. Are you attracted to men or women?
It depends on my mood, my vibe.
Is it true that you've had with Meek Mill?
I can't tell you that.
Heard about this chick that's being shopped around, a Diddy and another Mill. They say the other Mill is an A-list celebrity.
I would wonder if he's white or black. And if I'm looking at any black guys that are A-listers that's bigger than Diddy, there's only one that I could come up with. And there's a few I could come up with. Will Smith, he's bigger than Diddy. I would think Nick Cannon is bigger than Diddy. Who else on the black that are black actors or black in the business that's an A-lister that's bigger than Diddy, that's black? That's hard to think. But then if you got the A-listers, you know, you got to realize he ran with that black, that Rat Pack. And I don't want to even say their names, but they said I got their names wrong last time. What's his name? Kushner? What's the other guy? Leonardo? Yeah, his name. Man, I don't keep up with these cats. But I heard that that's not only the tape that's being shot. There's some other tapes out there, other people too with him. And him doing some things with some other people. A lot of his people that know him, a lot of the people that been in those parties and seen probably some unscrupulous shit that went down and was like, ooh, I was there. I hope they don't got me on tape. They feeling a certain way. So they're not gonna speak on nothing until they've been approached with something. You gotta realize, when Homeland Security get their evidence together, they're gonna send agents out. You understand? They might send an agent out to me. Yo, what do you know? What have you heard? What have you seen? What's been going on? You know what I'm saying? You know, did this happen when you was around him? Did this happen back in the day? That's what they're gonna wanna know. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna send investigators out. They're gonna send people out for anybody that they can get some information from to help their case. So those celebrities ain't gonna say nothing. You know, you got your man Stevie J speaking on it right now. He'll be one of the first dudes that they'll probably pull to the side and say, yo, well, you say that your man, I heard you on TMZ say that he never did this and he never did that, but ain't this you? If those pictures or those films or anything like that exist. You know what I'm saying? That's what they pay those agents to do. So, of course, I don't believe that none of the people who are his celebrity friends is gonna speak or say nothing until they're either contacted or they know what they really got.
So you feel like they might be worried that they might be on tape at one of Diddy parties doing something they wasn't supposed to be doing?
I think that the celebrities that may be worried is because what Lil Rob said. Lil Rob said in his affidavit that Diddy had every room taped and bugged. Diddy had, yo, bruh, can you imagine he had every room taped and bugged, and they found little bugs or little tape recorders, those micro projectors or whatever like that, or video cameras. They found them in the house, bro. So by them having those things in the house, and people know there's drugs, there's alcohol, there's loose women, there's loose men, woman on woman, man on man.
So what do you believe? Was Meek complicit, or was he entangled in Diddy's web like so many others? Let us know in the comments. And if you're here for all the drama, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more explosive music industry secrets. Until next time, fam, keep it locked.